the more I walk with Christ, the less I have any position in which I feel like I know, oh, I know this, boy, I know that, because it's like I don't know squat.
Yeah, I know there's that classic illustration of it's kind of like how holy you think God is and how sinful you think you are. And then as you get older, they should start to drift apart so the cross in between seems bigger, the cross spanning the distance.
It's so
Yeah.
true. It's so true. I think about how foolish a lot of my prayers have been through the years, thinking because they're arrogant, because they're coming from a place that I think I know what's best. In any given situation, I think that I have the wisdom to direct God, and I don't know
Yeah,
squat.
I felt the same way because I feel like my prayers get more vague the older I get. I'm like, I don't even, it's the same thing, even when you pray for, let's say you're praying for a job opportunity or healing for someone, and it's like, at first you might pray, I want this job or I like this job. And then, but by the end of it, you're really thinking, Lord, just do, I don't even know what to pray. I'm just hanging out.
You know what can I tell you, dude? This is so spot on. Like, I end up sometimes just going like I'm going through all that,
Yeah.
right? And then I'm like, well, I don't even know. Like, and then I end up like, in all sincerity, just being like, just help, God help, whatever that means, and whatever that looks
It's really
like.
clarity I think we want more than anything. Or at least I do. It's not even what the end result is. I almost just want to know that there is a plan. And I again you've
Yeah,
done that illustration before where you've let's say I think you had a book and you were like saying about God kind of just revealing a little glimpse of the picture and sort of showing you some things. And it's
yeah,
the
yeah. I forgot about that illustration, but it's
yeah,
true.
so we just
And I think that when we look at everybody, I think when we look at everybody in different situations, we only see the top layer, but they're like a 7 layer salad. And so we take and then we interpret the top layer that we observe through our 7 layers, and we think that that presents an accurate portrait of reality of the situation. And in reality, we're so far off most of the time. And I think that that's what it is it's like, I don't know what I don't know. And the more I learn that, the more I learn, the less I realize I know. And the more I see God and how He works in so many layers simultaneously, perfectly, and how I can't remember where I put my keys this morning, it's kind of like, I think God help is a really good way to pray sometimes. I really do, because
yeah, thy
it's
what's
like,
thy will
God,
be done. That's what that is.
it is,
Yeah.
dude. I think it's like I spent the first half of my walk with Christ telling him what he should do. And and now in this part of my walk, I'm just asking him, tell me what you want me to do. And I'm going to tell you what I have found to be the absolute most difficult call: to be still and to trust and not try to understand. To me, that is the most difficult thing. I almost would rather just give me the task. I'm not saying that I'm always going to be perfect in obeying it, right? I might run from it, but at least I know this is what I got to do. When the call is do nothing but trust, pray, believe, be still, don't try to understand. God has put that in my heart so strongly on some matters, and I'm like, you know who you're talking to, right? Like, I try to understand everything, right? And he's not telling me don't try to understand because I might understand it. He's telling me not to try to understand because he knows already that I'm never going to figure it out properly. So why even? It's like Jesus telling his disciples, "I have much I want to tell you, but you're not able to bear it."
Yeah.
Uh,
So
Like
would you
he,
say that kind of intersects with how whenever God does speak prophetically or reveal things to
yeah,
people, Do you
It
think
does.
there's a reason why he gives just a glimpse and it's enough? I think sometimes I almost think it's enough that we don't get enough that we can try to put the things together. We just get enough that we can present it and sort of leave it at that. Because even speaking to people, they, and again, I'm sure you have experiences you could share of this, but when people say that they get revealed like an image or a color of something, and it's like the interpretation could be anything, but you just mention that one thing to someone, and their whole disposition changes because it's so meaningful to them. Whereas to us, it's like we don't
Right.
know we don't know what it is, we don't know what it meant, but we just got it and we just passed it on because there's not enough information there to try and piece anything together. You can't just start speaking into someone's life about this specific situation and take over. You just get enough to where you still have to trust that God's got he's got the full picture and we don't have that.
I absolutely do. I think like I know, I really heard from the Lord was that yesterday when I was in prayer, and I was carrying a couple of burdens to Him, and the Lord. I don't hear from God every time that I pray. I know some people like they hear from God, like or they think that they hear from God all the time. And when God speaks to me, like other than in the Word, when He's speaking to my heart and prayer, um, it's usually very succinct and um, yeah, it's just usually very succinct and brief. And what I heard the Lord say to me when I was praying about some things that were on my heart yesterday, one situation in particular is weighing on me. The Lord spoke to my heart and said, "Move forward." Okay. Now, I found myself last night when I was laying in bed, because that was in the afternoon, and I was thinking about that. I went I went back to the Lord and I said, wait a minute. What does that mean? I want you to tell me what that means, okay? Because I'm afraid I'm going to interpret it
Yeah, you don't
incorrectly,
want to taint
like
whatever
Peter.
he's trying to do with your own. Yeah,
P- Peter, prime example. The disciples, but especially Peter. Everything Jesus said, they took the wrong way. I mean, look at John chapter 4, right? It's like I have food that you don't know anything about. Who brought him food? Somebody must have brought him
yeah,
food. Somebody brought him food. Who brought him food? That's not what he's talking about, you nitwit. But in this scenario, I'm the nitwit, right? I'm the cotton-headed nitty, right?
yeah.
Little Christmas in
Right.
May here. Because it's like I think I know what that means. I'm so quick to jump to my interpretation, and can I just tell you that when I was asked the Lord, I said, "Lord, what do you mean move forward?" I unexpectedly just was overwhelmed by the presence of God. And I felt like, you know what? God got honor out of that. I didn't realize it. It wasn't my intention. It was a sincere, honest, contrite question. But I didn't think it was going to elicit that kind of response. And God didn't clarify it. He just overwhelmed me with His goodness and His presence, almost as if to say, "You're on the right track." And I kind of felt like God was saying, "You're starting to get that you don't get it."
Yeah,
And that's
yeah,
good. That's good because that's where you need to be. That's where trust really begins.